Welcome to the Empowered with Erika podcast. My name is Erika Vishkalis, and I'm an empowerment coach, mindset mentor, personal development enthusiast, and holistic health advocate. I have spent the last several years healing my mind, body, and soul, and have learned so much along the way. From healing trauma to navigating a sober lifestyle and learning how to step into my personal power, it has been transformational. If you are looking to heal, to be inspired, to uplevel your life, and become the most empowered version of yourself, you've come to the right place. I created this podcast to help you know you are worthy of rewriting your story and to help you navigate your own empowerment journey. You are worthy of living your most authentic, aligned, and inspired life, and I can help you get there. Whether you are diving deep into personal development or just need a weekly pick-me-up, I've got you covered. Thank you so much for pressing play today. I cannot wait to transform together. Let's get empowered. Welcome to another episode of Empowered with Erika. Your host Erika here, and I'm really excited for y'all to be tuning in today. So I'm not going to lie to you guys, I had no idea what to talk about this week. I was struggling, as I've kind of hinted at. I've been going through a hard season lately. It's been difficult, and it's not always easy to share what you're going through. There's privacy reasons, there's just you're working through the emotions on your own. You can't always share everything. And, I've had a lot of people share with me how they're loving the podcast, how they're loving the community. They're really inspired by, the episodes every week. And I love that so fucking much. And so I'm so grateful for every single one of you. That being said, it can be hard to be the person that people look up to when you're going through your own shit, right? And so I remember once, I'm going to just share a little story and just a reminder that we are stronger than what we think, right? So, growing up, a lot of shit happened. We're not going to go into the details today. That's not today's podcast. But one thing that I always remember, especially after a certain incident that happened when I was in about middle school, is a lot of people shared with me, God, you're so strong. You are so strong. Good for you for getting through that. I don't know if I'd been able to. And this may sound counterintuitive, but that kind of pissed me off when people told me how strong they thought I was. And even now, sometimes when people tell me how strong I am, it can be really hard. So, for example, I've moved across the country like 3 times now. Let's see, Montana, North Carolina, Arizona. Yeah, 3 times now where I knew no one, did not know what the fuck I was getting into. And people have been like, oh, you're so brave, you're so strong for doing that. And I so appreciate the support in the comments. But sometimes, like, this may sound silly, it's not easy being the strong one. It's not easy being the person that people look up to. It's not fucking easy because, one, it's a lot of pressure, but also there can be a bit of imposter syndrome. And so imposter syndrome, for those of you who don't know, I don't have like an actual definition up in front of me, but essentially it's where you feel like, I'm trying to without using the word imposter, it's essentially where you feel like you're kind of a fake. Like you're doing something or you're being something that you're not, or even though that's not true, typically, right? Like, no, you are that person, or you are doing that thing, or you know what, I'm a podcast host now, right? I have a fucking podcast, I host it, so I'm a podcast host now. So maybe we're not the top on the charts yet, keyword yet, but that doesn't mean I'm not a podcast host, right? And at times, though, there can be that imposter syndrome of like, why me? Why do I have to say what I have to say? Like, what the fuck, right? So sometimes when people would tell me that I'm strong, I would get that sense of imposter syndrome, and that's because on the inside, I felt anything but fucking strong. Your girl did not feel strong at all. I felt like I was crumbling and like I was weak and like I was so fucking sad, but I hid it really well. A lot of people have no idea about any of the shit that goes on because I don't fucking talk about it unless you are like in my very close inner circle. And actually my best friend Caitlin once, she was like, you're like an open book, but only a little bit. Like you're an open book to an extent. Maybe like open book, but only the first chapter. People don't see chapters 1 through 10 because I don't share it. And something I want to be doing on this podcast more with light, with sensitivity, is sharing more of the vulnerable stuff because I think that it's going to be helpful to some people, right? But anywho, I was feeling just so like such an imposter when people were like, you're so strong. I'm like, I don't fucking feel strong at all. At all. And this is my encouragement to you, that just because in the moment you don't feel strong doesn't mean that you aren't. And what's actually really fucking strong is allowing yourself to feel and process the hard things and the hard emotions, and allowing yourself and giving yourself permission to heal, to dig deep. Want to know what's strong? It's strong to fucking heal your trauma. It is strong to do the hard work. It is strong to dig deep and really allow yourself to feel the hard fucking feelings. That is strength. It's not very strong to just sweep all this shit under the rug and never acknowledge it, never deal with it, and just act like it never fucking happened. That's not strength. It's not strength for me to just fucking pretend like my childhood trauma didn't happen. It's not strength for me to just continue to drink because it numbs me and then I don't have to feel the feelings. That's not fucking strength. It's strong to dig deep and be like, why did I feel the need to black out? Why did I feel the need to numb? What was I trying to numb? What was I trying to numb? And that little Pandora's box was a shit show. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. It was hard. Really starting to accept and learn to heal and learn to allow myself to feel those feelings. And in my current situation, with what's going on right now, I do not feel strong at all. And a lot of people could say, but Erika, you've set a boundary. You're sticking to it. That's pretty fucking strong. But Erika, you're allowing yourself to feel those feelings. You're allowing yourself to grieve. That's pretty strong. And, they're right. That is strong, but I don't feel it. And so this is my reminder to you that just because you are not feeling your strongest today, just because you are not feeling at full capacity, just because you maybe don't feel tough, does not mean that you are lacking strength. Because it is really fucking strong to face your demons. It is really strong to set boundaries and hold them. It's really strong to remember who the fuck you are and to have that standard for your life and for others that are in your life. That's strength. It's strength to do the hard work, to grow as a person, and to be better. That is strength. Right? Like I said earlier, it's not strong to just sweep everything under the fucking rug and pretend like it didn't happen. That is not strength. And I remember it used to really activate me when people would tell me how strong I am. Especially because I just felt like I was falling apart. Just falling apart. Like when I was really struggling when I was younger, I just remember there was like a couple month period where, looking back, I was probably depressed. I don't know. I didn't get any diagnosis or anything. But I would just lay in my bed and watch Grey's Anatomy. I did not give a fuck about anything. I didn't care about having friends. I didn't care about school. I didn't care about interacting with people. I just did not want to think or feel. Right? I did not want to think or feel. And it took strength for me to stop doing that. Just like it took strength for me to stop drinking. In the moments where I really want to numb, I really don't want to feel, and a beer sounds fucking good. A cocktail sounds good. A margarita sounds good. I fucking miss margaritas. I miss Long Island iced teas. If you know me, I got fucked up on Long Island iced teas back in the day. That shit is good. I miss them. But I don't miss how they made me feel. Right? I don't miss the hangovers. I don't miss waking up not knowing what the fuck I said or did the night before. I don't miss that. I don't miss that at all. So in the moments where I'm struggling and I want that Long Island iced tea, I want that whatever, because I don't want to feel, or I just want to feel normal. I just want to feel normal. I have to remind myself that I am stronger than that urge. That what I want and what I desire in the life I want for myself is worth more than covering up that feeling. And also I have to remind myself that there's a reason why I have that urge. Let's dig into it. And that, my friend, is fucking strength. Digging in and healing your wounds and having hard conversations and standing up for yourself. That is fucking strong. So when you don't feel strong, when you feel sad, when you feel weak, when you feel like the world is fucking falling apart around you, when you feel like your world has been turned upside down, which are all things I have felt, not even that distantly, remind yourself that it takes a strong motherfucker to do the work. To do the work of healing, to do the work of upleveling, to do the work of starting a business or starting a fitness journey, or just like bettering yourself and sitting down and reading the personal development versus the cheesy rom-com or the thriller or whatever, which are good too. Honestly, I need to get back into fun reading more. So, and Nicholas Sparks does have a new book coming out soon, so I will be reading it because I love his books. But, sorry, I got sidetracked. It is really strong to do the work. So even on the days when you don't feel it, and maybe you're getting annoyed if someone tells you how strong you are, dig into that. Why is that? Why is it that it bothers you? Why is it that you don't feel strong? Is it because you have too high of standards for yourself? Are you being too hard on yourself? Because that's usually the case with me. Right now, I don't feel strong at all. And it's because sometimes in my mind, and even though it's not, I know it's not real. I know that this is inaccurate. But in my mind, I can play games with myself, and not on purpose, obviously, but I tell myself, oh, well, if I was really that strong, I wouldn't be upset by it. If I was really that strong, I wouldn't be feeling these sad feelings or these hard emotions. If I was really that strong, I would know what to do right now. If I was really that strong, me setting a boundary and someone not fucking sticking to that boundary, and thus we don't have much of a relationship anymore, it wouldn't bother me. And then I was like, what the fuck? That's not true. That's not true. Allowing myself to feel is the actual strength. Allowing myself to heal those wounds is the actual strength. One of the most defining moments in my life, and I have a couple, and I'm going to start sharing them more, but one of the biggest steps I took in my healing journey was starting ACOA, which is Adult Children of Alcoholics. I've talked about it before. It's an amazing program. It's not only for children of alcoholics, also for those with dysfunction in their families. And I talk about it a lot because it's fucking changed my life. It has changed my life. And that step, that initial step of showing up to the meeting and feeling super uncomfortable and being like, why the fuck am I here? I'm not the person that does this. Like, I don't care. I had this like preconceived notion in my head about what it was. You know, I'd been told that like Al-Anon was bullshit, that those types of things were bullshit, that I didn't need it. That's a story I had in my head. But I was so low in life that January or late December, I forget what it was. I think it was like late December of 2020. I was so low that I was like, why not? This is going to be hard, but what's harder? Sitting on my couch crying because I'm so fucking alone in this goddamn state where I know no one, and I just had all this shit happen in the last 4 months, and I feel like my life is falling apart and I don't know what the fuck to do, and I'm just sad. What is stronger? Sitting in that space and just feeling fucking sorry for myself, or deciding, you know what, I have this unresolved wound I have not really dealt with. Even though I've gone to therapy, I haven't really dealt with this specific thing because I haven't had the strength to open up that door. That was true strength, was opening the fucking door to my healing. So whatever your situation is, maybe it's literally just getting to the gym to walk for 5 minutes on the fucking treadmill because you're just starting out and you don't know what to do, and you're like, well, walking is good, right? But you don't want to. Or maybe you want to, but you're scared. You're scared you're going to be judged. You're scared that you don't know anything about it. You're not an expert. Getting on that treadmill, that's fucking strength. Even if it is for 5 minutes. Maybe it'll turn into 10. Maybe it'll turn into 20. Maybe it'll turn into an hour. I don't know. Maybe it won't. But taking that step towards bettering your life, that is the strength. Allowing yourself to dig in and hold yourself accountable and realize that something needs to fucking change, that is the real strength. I know I'm being strong as fuck when I am staying sober through really hard moments of my life. Because trust me, there have been multiple times since I've gotten sober and I was like, damn, I'd kill for a beer right now because I don't want to feel this shit. It'd be so much more fun to just be happy and free, to not think about it. But that's not healthy, is it? You're probably hearing this and you're like, what the fuck? This chick is crazy. But I'll be honest, maybe I wasn't consciously thinking that, but that's what would happen often, is that was a go-to, and it was socially acceptable, or it is socially acceptable. Oh, you just got broken up with, or you just dumped someone, let's go to the bar. Oh, this happened, let's go to this party. Oh, this happened, let's do that. Here's a shot. Have a glass of wine. You had a hard day after work? Have a whole fucking bottle of wine. Okay, that doesn't sound very healthy to me, and I'm not judging anyone. I'm not. But I just recognized my patterns and realized that how I was using alcohol was not healthy, and that I didn't have an off switch, and that I wasn't able to moderate it. And this is just my example. I'm sure a lot of you are like, I cannot fucking relate, and honestly, I'm jealous. I'm glad you can't relate. I'm glad you're able to have just one or two. Good for you. I wish I could, but I'm not so fortunate, unfortunately. But I had to realize that with myself. And that's okay. That's okay. That's me. That's part of my journey. That's part of my story. Just like when someone tells me I'm strong and I'm like, fuck, no, I'm not. How am I strong? I cried 3 times today. Okay, maybe I've cried 3 times today, but I haven't given up. Maybe I've cried 3 times today, but I am allowing myself to feel those feelings. And I don't even know if I have cried 3 times today. I've cried today. I have. It's been kind of a hard day. But that doesn't mean that I'm weak. It doesn't. It doesn't. Just like whatever it is you're going through where you don't feel strong, just take a moment to remember that you are doing the work. If you're listening to this podcast, you like this podcast for a reason. This is not everyone's cup of tea, and I fucking know it. Most people like, lighthearted, fun shit, and we talk about real topics that are not always easy. Okay? I know that this can be triggering for people. So I applaud you for listening, for showing up, for doing the work. This is part of doing the work, is having those hard conversations. I hope that after these episodes, if something resonated with you, that you think about it and think like, why did that resonate with me? Why did that trigger me? What did I take from it? And like dive deep. And if you want to talk about it, let me fucking know. I'd love to. I'm actually exploring options on how to create an Empowered with Erika community so that, because I always hear from people on, oh, this resonated with me, or this resonated with me, or this was my takeaway. And I love that. And I'm like, how powerful would it be if we could all come together and share those takeaways with one another? And maybe like you guys are learning shit from me. I know I'm going to learn shit from you. And Sally and Joe are going to learn stuff from each other too, because they're like, oh, what did you learn? Oh, what did you learn? That's pretty cool. Or this was how I interpreted it. This is what it meant to me. That's all this is. I'm not anyone fucking special. I'm just sharing what I've gathered from these life lessons I've had. So on those moments when I have felt like so weak, I remember in December of 2020 when shit just hit the fan, and I was like, God damn. Are you kidding? Like, are you serious? I'm still processing someone trying to fucking rob me right now, and this is what's going on? Seriously? This is the cards I've been dealt right now? and I'm not going home to see my family, so I'm going to spend this holiday season alone as fuck in the state, and I have some friends, but not a ton, and like they're new friends because I've only been here a couple months, so I guess me and Hunter are just going to chill the fuck out. And we went to Sedona, and it was really nice, and I had a nice time, but it was hard. It was hard being away and alone, but I was strong because I didn't give up, and even if in that moment I didn't see it, so even in those moments where maybe you don't see it, just remind yourself. You don't even have to tell yourself that you're strong, because I know that can be triggering. Just remind yourself to not give up and be like, hey, you know what? Maybe I don't see it right now, but I also know that I'm doing the hard work and that I'm worth doing the hard work and I'm worth not giving up on. I know that I am worth it. I'm worth that boundary. I'm worth that sobriety journey. I am worth digging in and doing the work. I am worth it. And let me tell you guys, I often do not feel worth it at all. I actually had a whole conversation with Kyle today about how unlovable I feel at times and how I don't feel worth it. That's my journey. That's my story. Thanks, childhood trauma. Go us. That's something that I work through all the fucking time. So I want you guys to know I don't sit here on some pedestal. I am in the trenches with you. I am in the trenches with you. I am doing the work with you. And so trust me, on days I don't feel strong, on days you don't feel strong, we just got to put our heads down and remember who the fuck we are. And remember that just because I don't feel strong in this moment does not mean that I don't have strength. Right? Just because I don't feel strong in this moment does not mean I do not have strength. Does not mean that I've not overcome things that maybe others would not be able to do. Does not mean that this imposter syndrome is real. It's fucking imposter syndrome. Which means that it's something in your head. That it's not reality, right? Maybe in my head I don't feel like a podcast host. Well, guess what, Erika? You have a fucking podcast and you're the one that talks on it and you're the one that edits it and you're the one that puts in the fucking work. So I guess you are a goddamn podcast host. So it doesn't matter if you don't fucking feel like it because you are one. It's not a feeling, it's a fucking fact. A little fun Ben Shapiro quote. If you know him. Not everyone likes him. Actually, a lot of people hate him. But I do like that quote of him. Facts over feelings. And it's a fucking fact that you're strong because you're doing the fucking work. Right? It's a fact. So you don't have to feel strong. You don't have to feel strong because you are doing the do. And that inherently, you doing the work, inherently means that you're a strong motherfucker. And I know I'm swearing a lot this episode. I would apologize for it, but I'm not sorry. So I'm sorry if it offends you, but I'm not going to change. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. I'm not going to change. So, anywho, this was my little rant, my little reminder, because I needed it. Whenever I share this stuff with y'all, it's because I needed to. It's not me being better than anyone. It's not me saying I have it all figured out, because guess what? I have not had it all figured out. I just share the shit that works for me. And maybe it'll work for you. Maybe it won't. Maybe this will resonate. Maybe it won't. Take what you love, leave the rest, you know? Share it with people that you think would benefit from it. And guys, I just have to say that I love the community we have created here. And I don't know everyone's story for everyone who listens. I don't know everyone's journey. I would love to hear more of your guys' stories. I'd love to hear more of your journey. The people who have shared with me, I have loved hearing what they take away from it, why it resonates, how it's impacted their life, how maybe it's inspired them. So y'all, if you get something from this podcast, let's keep growing the community. Like I said, I'm going to be putting together some form of community for us to all connect. I'm thinking probably a Facebook group. Once I do that, I'll announce it. I'll put the link in the show notes. But guys, I am so grateful for you all. So if you like the podcast and you want to continue to grow this community, share the podcast, share the episodes that resonate with you. Maybe just share the feed if you want. Remember, we're on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Review it. Leave a comment. Leave a review. Rate us. I know it sounds like silly and I kind of hate being the person to ask, but if you enjoy it, Share why you enjoy it, because that's how we're going to grow and that's how it's going to reach others. Right? And I know that these episodes have impacted many of you because you've told me. And I'm so fucking glad that they have. I'm glad that whatever words I've spewed out of my mouth with random F-bombs thrown in have, helped others. I'm grateful, and I'm so excited that my guests have helped others. I'm so excited for the community we're growing, because we are some high vibe people. We are some high vibrational individuals in this community, and I love you all, and I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. So this is a shorter episode today, but I just wanted to share with you guys, remember, even when you don't feel strong, even when you're not sure what the fuck you're doing, why you're on this journey, why you're doing the work, remember, you started your journey for a reason. And that feelings are fleeting. And feelings don't mean that it's a fucking fact. Just because you feel something doesn't mean it's a fact. Right? So you may not feel strong today, but the fact that you get up every single day and you show up for yourself and you do the work and you do the hard things and you give a fuck about yourself enough to do that and about those around you, means you're pretty strong. It does, even if you don't feel it in the moment. And like I said, I've been there. I was there today. So, you're not alone. You are worthy. You are loved. I'm so grateful for all of you. And with that, we will wrap up for today. Thank you guys for listening, and I will talk to you soon. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you and for taking the time to be a part of our community. Don't forget to check the show notes for resources that I shared in today's episode, and of course to connect with me on social. You can find me on Instagram at erika.vishkalis. You can also find me on Facebook at erikavishkalis. I always love hearing from you, so leave a comment, leave a review, shoot me a DM, let me know what you loved and what you want to hear more about. And don't forget to tag me if you share the episode with your friends or with your family or on your story. If you want to hear more empowering content, then make sure to hit subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when our next episode drops. I cannot wait to share more with you. I will see you next week, and don't forget to stay empowered.